Hello, everyone. Welcome. As you can see, I'm outside on the evening walk with my dog, which means there is a second episode of the format I did last month already with a special guest for me. And we want to do today the second episode of this new type of category. And I'm waiting for him. He told me that he will join soon. So we will see and be curious. In that time, I can show you a bit of the landscape here. We are walking in. It's already in the evening here in Germany. And we are out for a nice walk in the sun. And my guest, or let's say my colleague, you may already know because we did last month the first episode, and today we are doing the second episode. And since we spoke the last time, 6 weeks ago, a lot of things happened, and here he comes. Here he comes, drum roll. Here he is. Hello.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you good.
All right, perfect. You're already out and about. Look at you.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
that is
started
gorgeous.
already recording and told everyone that I'm waiting for my lovely guest and colleague. And Dion
That
and
is gorgeous. I'm so
are
jealous. Look how it's just endless. It's just forest everywhere.
yeah, wait, I will show you. Dion, wait.
Oh my gosh, look at that. All right. How much is a
Welcome
plot of
to
land there?
South
I'm gonna
Germany.
buy a lot. I'm gonna buy a lot there. Let's go.
As I told you, one of your colleagues already saw this in live and colored last weekend.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still waiting for you to show
So
up.
waiting. And by the way, we got the package. Thank you so much. My wife was going through it and she's like, this is a lot. You got to say thank you. So I was like, so yes, the first thing I'll start with is thank you. A very, very big thank you. I still
Everything,
got to go through it.
nothing broken, hopefully.
I haven't even looked into it yet because I think didn't you want to film an unboxing or something? But I
Feel
kid
free,
you
it's
not.
your package, Richard, not mine.
All right, I'll do an unboxing. I'll go through it because you gave me instructions, right?
No, I'm not giving you. Don't call me. Do you know what your actor's colleague called me last weekend? He said to
Well,
me that I'm bossy.
bossy. No, I don't say it's bossy. You're just thorough, which I
I'm
actually
just
like.
structured, organized as we Germans are, you know.
Yep. There was never a late train whenever I got there. You show up at like exactly the right moment and it's there.
Yeah. So, Richard, 6 weeks ago we did the first walk and talk.
I
I
can't believe
think,
it's been 6 weeks. That's crazy.
yeah, a lot of happening since then, I
Yep.
assume. You just came back from a shooting in Oklahoma.
So I guess that we could start there. I think during that 6 weeks hiatus, as you've already hinted towards, I'm sure I'm catching what you're hinting towards is the fact that this AI disruption was so massive that a lot of people just went without work.
Yeah.
A lot of people just sat out on the sidelines because there was nothing left. And the course correction, I wouldn't say course correct, I would probably say a hard pivot that a lot of these apps did, where they went fully AI to try and see where they can find their new equilibrium of how much. I don't know like exact numbers because you can never really basically hold their feet to the fire and get real numbers. But some
Yeah.
of them went full on like 90% AI with only 10% live action. Some of them went 80-20. Some of them are saying 60-40, but sure doesn't feel like it. But yeah, there's a lot of people pumping out and seeing what the market will actually take as far as how heavy loaded they can go with the AI. And so 6 weeks of this, you've already heard rumblings of people saying that there's pushback, rumblings of saying that you've already saturated you. There was already a level of saturation in the market with live action. With
Yeah.
you could actually argue that case, but then whenever you release up to 10,000 AI verticals a month, like it's just madness. How can anyone keep up with that?
Yeah, but I had lately the feeling, correct me if I'm wrong, that a lot of your colleagues were flown out to China again. So
Yes.
the
So the
productions in
international
China started more and more live acted again. It's what it looks like for me.
So the cost cutting efficiencies that they're trying to do, because everyone knows even Western companies are leaving LA because it's just too expensive to shoot here.
Yeah,
And so, I mean, a case in point, I just flew back from Oklahoma, where the cost of living, the cost of doing productions, I would say like you're saving at least 40%. The rebates alone and the kickbacks that you get for filming inside Oklahoma, because they're very aggressively trying to attract Hollywood films and Hollywood level productions to go shoot in Oklahoma. But even just like like an anecdotal one is me and Elizabeth and a couple of the other people that flew in from LA. There's like a little small group of us that were in the hotel. And then we had the weekend to ourselves. So we're like, all right, let's go see what OKC has to offer. And we went out to eat. And I kid you not, we were all just laughing and pointing at the prices. It is literally like 1/5 of like the cost of like anything going out in LA. So where one drink, I think at this one place was only $5. And I was like, this would cost us $20 if we were in LA, like minimum, if not 30. And so we're like, all right, so let's just order
weird.
10 of them.
That's so weird. Can you tell us which platform you shot for, or is it a secret?
No, so it's Lighthouse Verticals. So Lighthouse is the production company.
Yeah,
It's one of the new players. So
yeah.
what you're starting to see is that thanks to all of you and all the fans that are listening and watching and are huge fans and pay for these apps and like built out the industry, the Western audiences have seen what's happened with this market, and that was the only one in media entertainment that's actually growing and has a growth trajectory. And so Tim Tebow, I don't know if you guys know, but I can give you a quick little background. Tim Tebow is a famous football player. He played in college, and his family were extremely religious. And he became famous because he would wear Bible verses on his face whenever he would do his football, like the black lines you always see
Right.
in movies. He would wear John 3:16. He would actually kneel down and pray before every game. And I think he had like a long history of being with his family when they would do missionary work across the world. And so that was kind of like his brand in college. He won
Hmm.
the national championship. He had a brief stint in the NFL, but he's now a very famous ESPN sportscaster. So he talks about the NFL and talks about college football. He continues, obviously, he started a family.
Yeah,
Everything that he talks about and everything that he believes in, family friendly stuff, and then also faith centered stuff. Him and some investors saw the opportunity in microdramas and decided to start an app only with very faith and family centered verticals. And what was so interesting is that when the casting director reached out to me, because they're not even out yet, they haven't premiered it, they're filling up their library and creating their slate right now, and then
but
they're going to
that's
release
good.
it.
That's good. First filling up, because
Yep.
otherwise you have always the problems. There's only one show on the platform we want to see, and then you have to purchase. You know what I mean? That's a bit.
I love that you actually understand business, Michaela, because it's very interesting whenever these new people come out and they want to release their app with just one show. And I'm like, you don't have a library. You need, if you're going to charge a monthly fee like a Netflix and you don't have
Minimum
a
10
library,
shows.
exactly. You have to have a slate and you have to have a library for them to go and see and watch and stay.
Yeah.
Because if you come out too early and you only have like 3 shows, all right, they burn through your 3 shows in a matter of days or less than a week, and then they churn out.
Yeah, if you have people like me or the other review ladies who watch around about 60 shows per month,
There you go. There you go. There
you
you go.
need at least 2 shows per day to watch.
Exactly.
And if
Yep.
you have a platform with only 2 shows, it's a bit meh.
Yeah, you can burn through your entire slate in less than 24 hours. That's not good
Yeah,
because retention is going to be a huge problem. Retention is key.
yeah. So what have you done the last 6 weeks besides the shooting in Oklahoma?
So shooting in Oklahoma, the meetings that I've had with the different apps. So I've actually been courted, which is of course a good position to be in. Uh, there's a certain number of us that get to operate in the space, like the quote unquote from the horizontal world, like legacy. They would call you a name. Like they know that whenever you have a fan base, you have an audience that watches whatever you're at, and you can operate in the space like, as a quote unquote name. And so whenever I meet with these people or they're in my DMs or reach out to my agent, they reach out and say, we're already fans of Richard and we would love to find the right project to have you come over on this app and debut with us with.
Okay.
And so like, all right. So it's a unique, I know it's a unique position to be in. I'm grateful for it, but it's one of those things where whenever you operate in the space as a name, we all know each other. And you know that whenever you put these certain people in a show, you're going to get a return on your investment. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
I know.
come, they have a reputation in the space. They know, you know what you're going to get when you click on their face on the poster, and they deliver. And they
That's
deliver
why
the
when
numbers.
I have my 200,000 euros for my first vertical, I give you a call. And if you say no, I'm mad.
Oh, man. You already know that I would do it for free. I
Richard,
love you
can
that
we
much.
shoot it in Europe? Hello.
I know. I'm done. I'm down. Let's go. Let's go. A lot
Because
of people are actually. You want to hear something only because I talk to the executives. You're going to get a very unique perspective here, especially whenever we do these walk and talks. Is that there are certain regions of Europe where they have trusts and they have money and they have to spend it on the arts. And they actually don't even need an ROI. They just have to spend it, their yearly budget. And so certain people have been smart and have actually found those and have already started to begin conversations with these trusts and with these NGOs and 501c3s in order to fund verticals and bring work there.
should I tell you something? What
Okay.
I did the last weeks, you know, I'm a lot of business lady too.
I know, you get it.
And I finished programming my database where it launches next week, where all of your colleagues and stuff can put in your, let's say, profiles for the European shooting market. And I will use this database because I got recently in a circle of production companies here in Germany. And I had a few interviews last week. So I was asked to be interviewed because some of the vertical people in Germany, the production companies and stuff, they are getting it that these micro dramas are not a fling. And they came to me and said, listen, we found your podcast. It seems like you know a bit about this vertical stuff. And I said,
Yeah, a
yeah, I
bit.
would say a bit.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
So I had a bunch of interviews with different magazines and stuff to talk about the verticals in Germany. And on my event last week, one of the biggest TVs were here. I invited.
Cool.
And they shot a few stuff to doing a documentation about verticals in industry, about this community who is here already. And they are doing a documentation for the TV show, which will drop in September, because the vertical market here in Germany starts to, let's say, move a bit. And there are a few rumors that a lot of production companies took my advice to start shooting with vertical experienced actors and
Yep.
directors to learn first and not to start on their own without any knowledge about filming a vertical. So that's why I created this database, that I can give them some advices when they come to me and say, listen, I need, I don't know, a vertical actor, this height, hair color, what else? Who can you say for me who will fit for this role? And then I can use this database to give them advices of your profiles, who they can contact, who are vertical experienced enough to do this. And so I will start. The first big interview in the magazine will drop on Tuesday here in
Congrats. That's
Germany.
awesome. Congrats.
And so I assume that a bit of people will get to know me from Tuesday on. And because of this television documentation they shot while my event last Saturday, when that will drop, a lot of people know here in Germany, maybe we should contact Michaela because it seems like she knows a bit about this vertical stuff where we can learn from.
Yep.
So I know that here in Europe and also especially in Germany, there is money to shoot verticals, but at the moment they don't know how.
So
And
that's
that's
like it's actually a very unique point that you made, because that was something that we talked about a lot in Oklahoma City,
right.
because they brought in on very purposeful and strategic. They pulled in someone like me who has vertical experience, someone like Elizabeth as well, and the main leads all had vertical experience, but then
Yeah,
they surrounded us with people that didn't. And
yeah,
that was that learning opportunity that you talked about, because there is, I think the main difference that I always talk about with people who have never been on a vertical shoot, as far as the act, let's take the acting for instance. And
yeah,
so I always have to have a quick little prep talk. And the director on this one came from experience as well. And he was so thankful that I could, very quickly explain this to the actors, is that there's always a problem when you find the right tone. And that's not just
yeah,
for verticals, but the right tone for horizontal as well. And whether you're like, okay, so, and I always use the example of sitcom. So if you have a half hour sitcom, and the one that's most famous that everybody knows, that everyone can relate to, I don't know, hopefully your audience can relate, is New Girl. And there's a character on there named Schmitty. And Schmitty is bombastic. He's over the top. He is like the comic relief for the entire sitcom.
you know
But he,
that it's a so German name, Schmidti. You know that?
there's a German show named Schmitty. All right, now you got to send me that. You got to send me that. I got to
Yeah.
see that.
So yeah, okay, sorry, talk on.
So the tone of the show is a half hour sitcom. So everybody kind of cranks up the intensity. They crank up the over the topness in order to land the punchlines, to go for the comedy. And I always talk about how when people are trying to find the right tone for a show, would you audition for an HBO drama or an Apple TV very dark drama with the same tone as a half hour comedy? And of course, it's very easy for, like, after you set it up like that, the actors on set will be, oh, you're right. So it's not different acting. I would actually just argue it's a different tone, and you're trying to find the right tone for what project that you're working on. Just the same way as you would go in and do
Yeah,
a stage play with Arthur Miller, or like a Steinbeck show, or even Shakespeare. You would not do that same kind of, if you want to use that, pejoratively, there's different type of acting for a musical theater show. So it's not different acting, it's just finding the right tone for the project. So I would actually argue one of the biggest hurdles that a lot of people do whenever they first step onto a vertical set is they don't know what the tone is. And that's the hardest
mm,
hurdle to go
yeah,
over, because they're insecure. They're like, am I doing this right? Is it the right one? And all of a sudden they just crumble. And so after we have that little pep talk, and me and Elizabeth kind of like held everyone's hand to like finding the right tone, it clicked. Everybody brought in what they felt
yeah.
was like their way to add to the pie. And it became actually a really beautiful show with very beautiful moments. So I'm actually really excited about it.
Yeah, so I
But that's
think,
just the acting
it's
part
the same
once
with the
again.
production side. Yeah, exactly. It's the same with
Yeah,
the
there you go.
production
So
side.
on the flip side, there's an entire thing for the operations. So the operations of a project, which would be the production, where you have cast, crew, they have to understand the limitations. What everybody is used to
Yeah,
is this: when you have a full screen and you can actually get away with actually setting up characters walking behind you, or even telling a story physically through a space without words. But now you have the confines of this now, where you can still play with those elements, but instead of going long form, it has to be longitudinal. You have to
yeah,
play
and
within this space.
that's what I always tell the people who are interviewing me lately. It's not that I don't trust the German production companies that they can't do it, but in my opinion, the first thing they should do now is learning by doing with
Yep,
vertical
yep,
experienced people. You know,
yep,
it's let's say similar like starting as a shooting location, flying in, at least as you said, the vertical experienced leads,
yep,
plus a vertical experienced director.
yep,
I think that would be a really good start to have the main positions, let's say, with knowledge about this branch. because what they are doing now, they are shooting some verticals, but the first episodes I saw, they, as you said, the actors weren't comfortable with the screen. And also you see that the cutting and stuff is not good.
Exactly. Continuity. You're not understanding what you're actually cutting in the cutting room, which is
Yeah.
why Anthony, it was such a smart play with what they did. They are entering a new realm and they admitted it firsthand. So they brought out experienced director and experienced leads. And we essentially taught the entire crew, which of
Yeah.
course, every single tax rebate and all of the different tax incentives for all the different states in America require a certain amount of locals to be hired, which is why they do that. But it was fine because we were able to teach them and they were already experienced from horizontal, but they walked into this and they were already very, very, I mean, these guys did network TV shows. These guys were doing the full on features with Meryl Streep, August of Osage County. Like they all have experience, but you just teach them a new medium and all of a sudden they pick it up very fast. And
Yeah,
so
and
you have to,
I think that is a win-win for everyone, because I
yep,
am always
yep,
saying, and that will be published also in an interview next week.
yep.
In my opinion, the Germans have to learn first. It's not that they are dumb, but it's so special, this
It's a new
format,
tool. Yeah, it's
that
new. It's just new.
they should be smart and use the knowledge which was generated over the last 2-3 years already in the
Yep,
US.
yep.
And it's not that they have to do it always with the vertical experience actors from the US. I would say after a bit of time, the Germans could have learned it to do it on their own. But if they want to enter the market now, they should do it with a great quality and not destroying the market even before it has even a chance to grow. You
There
know
you
what I
go.
mean?
There you go. You nailed it. And so it's that's why it's so interesting that I started my whole career at Real Short because that's exactly what they did when they entered the Latin American market. So when the Latin American market was opening, and they were one of the first ones, so Real Short was very aggressive in entering into the global marketplace. Is they had their established people that had experience fly down there, take care of the new productions that were learning the space. They learned how to do it. I even got reached out to a couple of times from my Brazilian equivalent and my Latin American equivalent of someone who's playing my character, but for the LATAM market. And they would say, "Hey, I had to study you guys. It was part of my homework. I love what you did, and I'm going to try and do you justice down here in Latin America." And I'm dying. I'm like, "That's so funny." I'm like, "Congrats, man. That's so awesome that you get to play this character." But they made them, what did they make them do? They gave them homework. They had to
Yeah,
study how it was done.
yeah,
And then they had to go recreate it for the Latin American market.
yeah. I mean, in my opinion, it would be dumb not taking advantage of all of the knowledge which is already there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
It's
It's
a
the
kind of
entire premise.
investment in the
It's the
first
entire
verticals,
You're right.
and
It's the
that's
entire
it.
premise of film school. I mean, why do people go to film school? You learn from the greats, you learn from what they've done, and then you build on it
Yeah,
and you get to iterate off of it. But you have to have a
yeah,
foundation of knowledge first.
yeah, yeah. So I'm very curious how this will go because I know that here in Germany, the vertical market is very, very, let's say, full of rumors and full of start to move. So I when this documentation will be shown in the television, and it was shot from the one of the biggest television station here in Germany.
That's cool.
They asked me if they could join the event because it was, I had an interview with them, and then they asked me, is there a kind of community already here in Germany? And I said, yeah, not so big, but there is a bit. And then they asked me, do you know how we can contact them? And I said, listen, a bunch of these people will join my event next week.
Yep.
And a vertical actor from the US will fly over. So you would have had the chance even to talk to one of these vertical experienced actors already. And
Oh,
then
that's
2 days
cool.
later, they called me back and said, can we come? Can we come? They came from Hamburg. And they said, can we come? And I said, yeah, I'm fine with that because I mean, for my podcast, it's good,
Yep.
and also for the German, let's say, vertical stuff, it's good because I'm really hoping that after that, more people will try to get in contact with me who are interested in and take it really serious. We have the people saying, yeah, we can do it on our own. It's not so difficult to do it,
Yeah, yeah.
and they will crush, I'm sure. But there are outside a few people who wants to make it right. And I think they need a bit of support. And if they can see what knowledge is already there, okay, it's in the US, but it's there. They
Hmm.
have to make a little investment, fly 2 or 3 people over from the US for the
Yep.
first shootings, and then they can learn. And I'm sure that you see exactly that the quality will be so much better if you start it
And
right.
also, and you also have to think long term because there's short term investments and there's long term investments. And so I can actually tell you from my own experience at the wrap party that the producers, whenever they did that, they thought long term from the beginning because this isn't just something that they're going to try out for a year and then like we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
They knew that they wanted it to start and have a longevity to it. So they made the investment first, thinking long term, and their original slate was only supposed to be like in the 30 range. Let's just say that. I don't want to give away too much stuff behind the
yeah,
scenes because
yeah,
it's not my place, but
fine.
let's just say their first slate was supposed to be in the 30 range. After they made the investment, because they're thinking long term, remember, just like you said, quality first. They flew us out, they did it correctly, and they get to watch the dailies. But guess who else gets to watch dailies? Potential investors.
Yeah,
So what
that's
happened is that whenever they saw the quality for one of their first verticals that's going to be released, they got more investors. So
true.
now the investors that went to just have justify a 30-ish slate, now they're going to be pushing into the hundreds.
Yeah,
It's insane. So now if they tried to basically cut corners and try to do it themselves, do you think that second round of investments would have happened? No.
no, because everyone says, yeah, yeah, it looks okay. You know what I mean? But if you
Yep.
have a vertical, a lot of people are talking about later because of the great quality and stuff.
There you go.
Um,
So that
that's the way.
ROI, you pay just a little bit now to get it done correctly. Look how much ROI you got.
Yeah,
You already tripled your investment.
and that's now what I hope will happen in the next month here in Germany,
Yep.
because then I can bring, that's why I now finished this database I told you, because I
Yep.
want to be, let's say, a contact person for the German production companies when they are coming and say, because the main problem here is in Germany, at the moment, if you don't know a vertical or the name of the vertical actor, you cannot find them here. There is no possibility, no database. And for IMDb, you need at least the title or the
It's
name.
you. You're IMDb for Germany. It's you.
And I'm gonna be the vertical faces database. You know what I mean?
I know, seriously. I know. If anyone knows better, it's you.
I don't want to say that I'm a super expert. Okay, I know a bit. And when when I told them in the interview, yeah, I've watched now nearly 2,000 verticals. What? I said,
Yep.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
that's it. I would say that, yes. 2,000? And I said, yeah, I'm now for 3 years in this industry.
Yep.
I know what's happened and what's happening. And I talked to so many people there. I know what the main issues and problems are. I know it from the audience side, but I also know it because of the recordings from the actors or director side. So
Yep.
I can tell you exactly what the main problems are in shooting verticals mostly, and what are the typical mistakes you should try to avoid when you start shooting verticals. So that's why I want to be the database, you know what I mean? Because when it's not so easy to find vertical experience actors here in Germany,
Yep.
maybe they want to have vertical experienced actors, but right at the moment they don't have the possibility to search somewhere who are vertical experienced actors. You know what I mean? There is
Hmm.
no possibility if you don't at least know a name of a vertical and an actor's name who is in a vertical. But that's the next problem. We all know there are not any every time credits on verticals. So
Yep. Yep.
that's the next shit stuff in that. So in my database, you can put in your IMDb profile, your Insta profile, some demo reels, some pictures of yours. You can do a kind of resume. You know what I mean? Since
Mhm.
when you are in the vertical space, what's your um, also what's your citizenship? You know, some of you have dual citizenship. There isn't even a visa issue to come over to shoot. So that's what
That's
I
good.
want to put together, all these infos, and I will send out to all the people who already joined my podcast next week a mail and say, listen, there is a database. You can go there. You can fill out your profile. It's nothing I will make in public, you know, on a website. There is only the thing that these production companies have to contact me,
Yep.
and I will go through the database and give them some advices of actors or directors who would fit. So
Here's a good thing for your potential audience in Germany. So we're in Oklahoma, remember? And so these are some of the local actors that they used. They were basically only ever used in the horizontal legacy media stuff, like the August of
yeah,
Osage County. We're talking like big budget films. At the end of the day, if we're using the rebate, remember they have to use an X amount of local people. So whenever they have the big, huge productions like that, they use the bare minimum that they can get away with, and they will give them background roles. You're just extras, or if you're lucky, you could be maybe one or two that get like one line, and that's it. And they just trust you with enough with one line to be like, all right, don't mess it up, and they just get rid of you. Whereas the same person who got this one line and all the other ones, experienced actor local from Oklahoma, guess what? He got a full-on role. So he got a supporting role where he would play the pastor. So the pastor, which is in
I want
multiple
to play
scenes,
also in a vertical then.
but this is my point: is that the opportunities that get brought to whoever is shooting verticals,
Yes.
I always use the analogy of like the tide raises all boats. Everybody wins. Everyone wins on this. There's
Yeah.
nobody that gets relegated to nothing. Like everybody just wins, which is why I think it's such an easy sell because they're cheap enough in comparison to the the legacy media model to where you can come in and you can do multiple shows. Whereas with the
Yeah.
big legacy media, with like everything being overinflated with all the budget and all this, it's too much, it's just too expensive. You'll get one every 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah. No. So I'm still trying to get my money to fund my own vertical. I was last week again in our great castle here. That would
Mhm.
be so good for a period piece. No, I can tell you.
But you can,
Also,
I'm sure you're smart enough and like creative enough. You can start like putting the dots together. There are different regions, the different parts of different countries that will actually fund the arts and have money just sitting there and they don't know what to put it to. So all it takes is just someone to find them, pick up the phone and be like, hey, I know you have an annual budget you need to spend and it's burning a hole in your pocket. You should put it into verticals to where you'll actually get the biggest ROI right now in the current landscape.
yeah, that's what I want to try now till the end of the year. You know, I put
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
my feet in the doors now
Yep.
because of there's a lot of interviews and stuff, and also got connected to a bunch of German production companies.
Yep.
And I know that there will be let's say, a big wave coming to the end of the year, especially here in Germany.
That's good.
And as I said, you know, I was smart enough to do the database in that way that every actor can hop in, and that it would be a great opportunity also to use it in Europe itself. You know what I mean? It's not
Exactly. Yep.
restricted for Germany.
Yeah. It's not just for them. Yeah. It could be
No,
built out for the answer for
it's
all of Europe.
just the database where I will put in all these vertical experience talents, let's say it in that way, not only actors, actresses, also directors or crew members or what else.
Yep.
And so that, you know, there is one central, let's say, point where the companies can get these informations they need about doing
Hmm.
verticals. And, you know, in my opinion, I don't have to rush it because the Germans don't like it if you are too overwhelming and overloading. Um,
Okay.
that doesn't work, you know.
Hmm.
So they have always to get first the safeties. They always need a bit of more informations, and you have to do it slowly because if you are coming up with too much stuff, they are saying, I'm not sure. And if you are
Yeah.
explaining it to them, and if they let's say, get these informations in a good dose, what they need, and I will
Yep.
join some, um, how is it called in English, kind of panels, which are coming up
Yeah.
in the next
Yeah.
mix. So
Panels. Yeah. Panels.
I was asked if I would come as a speaker. So,
There you go. Good
I'm
job.
putting here and there my feet in, and then
Good job.
I'm coming with a big bang.
I love it. Love it. That's the only way to go, right? All out.
Yeah.
It's like a firecracker. Just
You
do
know,
it.
I'm kind of I want to give them the feeling that they need me and that they cannot do it without me. Bit
Yeah.
self-confident. Hmm.
I think it's true. Like if you want to do it correctly, how about that? Anybody can do anything they want, but if you want to do it right, they got to go through you.
I don't want to, as I said, I'm not saying that I'm the super expert, but I'm so confident to say, okay, listen,
You have a
I'm
very unique value proposition. All you have to say is how many verticals have you watched, and it doesn't matter what they say. I'm sure you're gonna win.
maybe, or
Yep.
I can say, how many vertical actors do you really know, or with who, how much did you already get infos in this vertical space, and where did you get it? Because
Yep.
it's so hard here in Germany to get this vertical infos because there isn't very
Yeah.
experienced, potential to get through. So
Yep.
I'm on it, Richard. And then I can tell you, if I will offer you a role and you decline it, then we are not BFFs anymore.
No, we're BFFs. I will make sure that it's definitely a yes. It'll only be scheduling. That's it. So we just need to move some stuff, but it'll always be a yes.
I was driving, by the way, last week at the Autobahn, and I thought of you and your motorcycle vertical where you.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's make it a motorcycle vertical. Then I could go crazy on the autobahn. Let's go.
No, I can tell you, I want to do a murder mystery with a storyline at the Christmas market where it's all
Oh
cozy
my
and stuff, and then there
gosh.
is
Oh, so that's it. We're bringing the family.
a
Yes, yes,
mysterious
yes.
death person. You know what I mean?
I love it. I love it. I'm sold. I already said yes. Let's go. Let's do
I
it.
have it on record, Richard. And a lot of your colleagues told me, yeah, if you will do it and I come over to Europe, you will get a discount.
Get this guy. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
You know,
I'll even bring
it's
the fam.
as
My
you
wife will
spoke, the
be
first one
in
is
the
needs a
Christmas
bit
markets.
of investment,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it's only 2.5 months and my Christmas bakery will open.
Let's go. Let's do it. My wife's really good at baking too. She can add some stuff to our bake off. We can fund it.
Then we will make not a walk and talk, then we will make a meet and eat, huh?
Immediate. All right, we got to add. We see. Look at this. When you have a good idea, it always fosters new ideas. So I love it. It's already good.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I already checked, to be honest, when I drove miles Clohessy on Saturday to Zurich to the airport, and there was a flight going straight to LA. I know now that I could fly straight
There you go.
from Zurich to LA one way.
One way. Let's go.
And
Let's
to be honest,
go.
I checked the prices both ways. It's only 900 euros.
I know it's not that bad. It's like the typical cliches are like, people that go from New York to London or New York to Paris. So those are always the most expensive. But if you kind of you can find some unique little directs that are very specific and different than the usual tourist, plays. They are a lot cheaper.
Huh. So that brings me to the question, when will you come to Germany, Richard?
All you had to say was Christmas market. I'm there. There's nothing like that in the world. They're like, I have yet to find anything like the Christmas markets in Germany. They're so beautiful.
Okay, so we will make a deal. If you are not coming over this year for the Christmas market, lately next year, okay?
Okay, that's done. All right, that's a promise. Let's go. And let's
And then
film a
we
vertical
can have
too.
a lot of mullet wine and stuff.
I know exactly. All the good stuff. Love it.
Until then, okay,
Uh,
till you now get your Christmas cookies, you now have the package with
yep.
the Michaela's Kitchen Care package. And I would say we talk roundabout in 4 or 5 weeks again.
Sounds good.
See what happened till then. Huh?
Okay. Yep. Let's do it. And I'll
because
be able to share
I'm
stories
sure that
from
there is a big
the
rolling in the market.
So what's crazy, we'll end on this. So I'm going to be shooting on the Real Short WWE wrestler vertical. So that one got a lot of attention. Let's say that when they did the press release. So WWE, for your listeners who don't know, is the World Wrestling Entertainment. It's when all the famous big steroided out wrestlers all fight each other. And I always made the argument that their audience is the perfect audience for verticals. And
Yeah,
so, guess what? They reached out and did a co-pro with them, and they're going to be
with real
launching
short, really.
with Real Short. So Real Short and WWE. So I already did my fitting. I shoot with them next week, and I'm going to be doing scenes with very, very famous wrestlers. And so I was like,
Mm,
oh, this is going to be crazy. And I always argue that not only is it cool for me, yes, but this is so good for verticals
yeah,
because it's showing you that you can actually do verticals correctly, and other big legacy brands like, I mean, World Wrestling Entertainment, they're famous across the world. And actually, one
yeah.
of the executives from WWE, he came and spoke to us during my MBA program at USC. And he was saying that they actually do localized, very local specific WWE matches that only, for instance, he used the example of India. In India, they're huge fans of wrestlers there. And
Mm.
so they incorporated local Indian wrestlers and their WWE wrestlers, and they had matches and fights that only aired for the country of India. So
Ooh,
once there you go. So that now all of a sudden your brain starts going, the ability that micro dramas have to enter into the space and do localized entertainment for each country.
yeah.
Brilliant,
And
beautiful, beautiful.
and you have to say they will bring new audience like the men. You know what I mean?
Exactly. So that's why WWE did it. They know that the ROI, whenever they incorporated the famous WWE wrestlers with wrestlers local to India, their ROI was insane. So they've already saw the potential for that, and they're adding different countries to their list.
So
And
you're
so
getting
why would
punched
they?
next week or what?
I hope so. I want to get punched by one of the greats. I'll be like, Hulk Hogan, give me a nice one right on the chin. So I'll share my BTS from that on our next one. Okay, that'll be a fun one.
Oh yes, please. And tell me how many ribs were broken after the shoot and stuff.
Okay, sounds good. All right, guys, this is always fun. I'm so happy we're doing this. I think this will be a great thing to check in every couple of weeks. This will be great.
Yeah, we cannot live without each other, Richard, I think.
I know, I know. So let's make it a thing. Once a year, we'll come out to Germany and shoot a vertical. Let's go, or more. Well,
I'm
not just one. How about a lot?
Oh,
A
come on.
lot.
Let's start with one.
I
You
believe
could
in it.
even
I believe in
you
it.
could even come over first time to do only the Christmas markets and all of that. I don't know if I can make that happen so fast with the vertical shooting.
Don't limit yourself. If you got the right people, you can make things move fast.
Yeah, I will check that. No, as I said, I already see a big movement. It's also because a lot of people connected to me and ask me, "Do you know stuff about verticals?" So the Germans are waking up now that they need more informations to do it, and they are willing to get more informations, you know? So that's a
Yep.
huge step for Germans.
Good.
So
Get it done. I believe in
I,
you. If there's
I hope
anyone I
that I
trust who
can
could do it, it's you.
feed them with informations enough
All
so
right.
that they will say, "Okay, Michaela, we trust you. Bring over the actors you think that would fit, and we trust you." That would be good. Or
That would be amazing.
or even win the lottery and fund my own bunch. You know what I mean?
Let's do it. Let's do it. I'll pray every day with the kids that you win the lottery. Let's go.
Yeah, then I will fly your whole family over, okay?
Let's
Then
do
we
it.
can do a
It's
walk
done.
and talk here. Hmm.
Or oh, that would be so cool. You're right. That would be awesome.
Yeah, we will do that. Richard, I wish you a lovely, what day is it? Saturday? Saturday.
It's Saturday. Yep.
I wish you a lovely Saturday and enjoy the stuff I sent you.
Thank you so much. I'll make a video about it soon. All right, guys. This has been fun. Until next time. All right.
Talk to you soon, Richard. Bye.
Bye. Bye.